Damien DeBohun. Damien, look, lots has been happening this weekend. What is your personal reaction been to what you've seen this weekend?
Well, it's been a big weekend, Tara, and from our perspective, look, we're really disappointed that a confidential document was leaked, and we'll certainly get to the bottom of that. We have been listening to the fans, and the one thing I can say today is that we will be formalising a process where if there is a banned fan who can bring evidence and prove that they didn't participate in the actions that they're alleged to do, that they need to take that to their club. We will review that with them and the club, and we will overturn the ban if that evidence proves that, in fact, they didn't do it. I'm a football guy like everyone on the panel there, and it has been a tough week, but I have been incredibly heartened by the way football has united, and I've got no doubt whatsoever that football will be stronger for what's taken place this week.
Damien, thanks for coming on the show. When are you going to install a proper appeals process, not for fans to come to you with evidence as to why they should not be banned, when you actually say to them, this is the reason why you're being banned? And the second question is, when are you going to stand up for the fans? Not only you, but everybody at the FFA.
Mark, we love the fans, make no mistake about that, and I think there's been some commentary about whether we've been silent this week. The reality is this is a complex issue, one that we're working through, and we've been doing a lot of work in the background, including meeting with some of the active fan groups this week, and that offer is there for all the clubs and all the fans for us to meet with them and continue to work on that. From our perspective, in terms of having a process that fans can partake in, the reality is that we go through a very careful process with banning. We're talking about some really serious situations. It's based clearly on evidence, and what we're producing
Damien, sorry to interrupt you. We're not talking about the people who've done serious things. They won't appeal. They are in the wrong. No one's defending them. We're talking about people who are innocent, right, and have got no right to appeal. Can't you see with the thousands walking out that this has gone beyond serious? 2 years ago, we were at the Albion, you and I, when this first started with the Wanderers supporters, and we heard it then, and it's gone on and on and on and on.
So
the time for
I'm
saying to you, Damien, the time for empty rhetoric has stopped. You've got to do something, or you're going to lose fans continually.
Mark, there's no empty rhetoric. What we're saying today is that we are making it clear and formalising a process that if there are innocent people, as you're articulating, if there are people who are quite clear that they did not do what they're purported to have done, that they can bring that evidence to their club. We will work with their club and with them, and we will, if it's proven, overturn that ban. So in very simple terms, this is a significant step. We are formalising a process, and we'll make sure that that's in place. The other part of this, of course, is that we continue to work with all fan groups, with all stakeholders, with the authorities, with the crowds, and we'll continue to refine this. But in the first instance, we're making it clear that there is a formal process as of today where if fans do believe they're innocent, they can produce that evidence, and we'll work through that with them and their club.
Damien, we know, I mean, the FA have stated that there was no obligation to do so, but can you tell us the reasons for not adhering basically to the rules of a fair procedure and natural justice?
Oh, look, Ned, there is a very fair procedure in place. The reality is that any of these bans that are actually undertaken are done with very careful consideration and with very clear evidence. And so that the process is, in fact, evidence is in place there in the first instance. So anyone who's suggesting otherwise, obviously what we're saying to them is all they need to do is produce the evidence to say that that's not the case. We'll take that on board, and if it's proven to be correct, we will overturn the ban without any other questions.
Damien, a couple of things here, mate. Firstly, is this a bit of a knee-jerk with this article that was in the paper last week? And secondly, this leaked document, what do you intend to do when you actually find out who leaked it?
Yeah, look, two things. No, it's not a knee-jerk reaction, John. From our perspective, we do listen to the fans. We listen to them carefully. We have the best fans in Australia. They create an atmosphere that's incredible, and we take very seriously our obligation to make sure that our games are safe and family-friendly, and that's why we have this banning process in place. What we're listening to is that there are people there who are saying they're innocent. There are people who are claiming that they didn't do what they're purported to have done. So we're saying, that's great. You can prove that to us and bring that with us with your club, and we'll certainly look into that. In terms of what happens with that investigation, we are looking at that very seriously. Obviously, we're incredibly disappointed that that information was leaked. And look, that process, once we get to the bottom of that, obviously we need to consider what our next steps are. But it is something that we're taking very seriously, and we're incredibly disappointed that that information, which is private, was leaked in the way it was publicly.
Damien, does it actually belong to the FFA, or do the police have access to that as well? Obviously, they would.
Yeah, so it does belong to the FFA, but the key stakeholders who are involved in making sure that we keep our grounds safe and family-friendly do have access to that information, and that's why we're able to, I guess, really narrow that search and look carefully at where that information may have been leaked.
Damien, one final question. What is the FFA doing for the A-League? Not for the Socceroos. What are they doing for the A-League right now? Because the game is in crisis, regardless of which way you look at it.
Oh, look, from our perspective, Mark, I thought an article you wrote recently was right on the money where, in some ways, what happens in football and all sorts of businesses is a bit like the stock exchange. Things go up, things go down. We're very clear that things aren't exactly where we want them to be right now, but we also know that a fantastic foundation's been built for the future of the game. So to answer your question specifically, we've engaged with the clubs right now to develop a new marketing plan for the rest of the season. We're looking at some specific initiatives to make sure that during January we re-engage fans, particularly young fans and children, and have them coming into Hyundai A-League matches with their parents for free, and a whole range of other things. But look, from our perspective, whilst things aren't travelling exactly as we'd like, there's a lot of things to look forward to, and in many ways we've built a strong foundation to build on into the future.
Sorry, buddy, I don't. One more thing. 2 weeks' time, Melbourne Victory will be playing the West Sydney Wanderers at the Wanderers Stadium. Will you and people from the FFA come on a march with me with the Wanderers to show your solidarity with those fans?
I will definitely take up on that offer, Mark. If you'd like me to join you, I'd be privileged to join you on that march.
Not only would I like to join you, but the whole of football would.
Fantastic. And look, I think one thing we'd love to see, and I've heard a few different commentators, both from Fox Sports and other places, talk about it, it would be great to see all fans walking to the ground together, arm in arm, because this has, without question, unified football and given a sense of how strong we really are. And there's a whole lot of issues to continue to work through on this particular front, but there's no doubt whatsoever that we'll be stronger for this at the end of the day.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, Damien DeBohun.
Thanks, Tara.
Yeah, we'll make sure we keep you updated on all of this.